child up who is raised up in godly principles, godly teachings, just makes you a special home. Makes kids, when they get up in the teenagers and act like heathens and idiots, come back to them. It pays to raise them from a child. Teach them from a child the things of the Lord. So when they get up and the world draws them away, God's got more power than the world does. They'll be the prodigal son. How many of them? I mean, it's worse in these days we live in. They'll go out there and think the world's going to give them everything. They're going to live it up. Come to find out they're eating hog food. Eating sow belly. Eating old soured corn that the farmer throwed away. They down there eating it and had all the riches he had back at Dad's house. So it pays to have a goodly heritage. Just a song we used to sing years ago. We're going to try to do it for you again this morning, entitled Goodly Heritage.
I may not have riches as some others may, but I have a Father who knows how to pray, and maybe there's something I've missed in my youth, but I have a Father who stands for the truth. I have a goodly heritage. I'm blessed with things you can see. I have a goodly heritage, and that is worth far more to me. And if in the future my parents pass on to dwell in.
Take your time, it's all right. We all go to that stage, amen. We've all lost parents. Sing that verse again.
I do have to say, which I told my dad, I wasn't the prodigal son, I was the prodigal daughter. I hard to admit that, because you know it's right, and it's so hard. The pride that you build up, because I know your parents know, I know they knew, but inside, I figured, I was hiding it good enough to where they didn't know. And I lost everything. I lost my job. And I've been in 4 accidents. I lost 3 vehicles. Thank God it wasn't my fault, but I still lost them. And I've been in school since 2005. And it just would never work out. To get into clinicals, I would get accepted, and then something would happen, and I'd get kicked out. Not because I wasn't a good student. That's what I kept thinking. I blamed it on nurses. I blamed it on them quitting, and I just blamed it on everything because I know that's what I want to do. And the last time in December was I finally got into clinicals. But I still wasn't right with God, and I wasn't right with my parents. And then our teacher quit in December. So I again got out of clinicals. So I had to reapply. And I didn't get in. And I kept thinking, God, why? This is what I want to do. This is what I want to do. And you hear it from your parents that you're doing wrong, but you don't think that they know everything, and that's not true. It actually took a friend of mine hearing that from my daddy, and it got to me when he came home, and he came and met me, and he said, "Marsha, I need to talk to you." Oh, okay, what? You know, you've been to my mom and dad's. I'm sure you've heard everything. And, this time I actually listened because it was from someone else. It's not on. So after I heard it from this other person, it actually meant, not that it meant more, but he knew what I was going through, and he knew it wasn't right, and it's how he said it, because he said, "Your daddy wasn't mad, your daddy's hurt, your daddy knew you could be a nurse in 2 years, he knew you could be successful, but as a daughter, I'm hard-headed, I'm like him, I didn't want to hear that, and I was laying in my bed, and there was nothing I could do but just cry and beg God to please forgive me, because I know I've done wrong. And the walls just fell. The pressure on my shoulders lifted up. I just can't explain how it felt. And you have to be at an altar for God to give you. You really don't. And 1 month later, I got a call from a nurse, and she said, "Look, I have a spot open for you. Come in. We're going to get you in. You don't even have to apply. You're going to get in. I'll make sure you have a spot." And then property that I couldn't sell, because all of a sudden the bank had a lien on it, and I hate telling y'all this, but this is what's happened. When God takes things from you, He takes it all, I promise you. The only thing He didn't take was my life, and I thank God for that. And He didn't take my mom and my dad. I'm blessed for that. So, the same day that nurse called me, I got a phone call from an attorney's office and said, "Marsha, your land's been paid off. Come pick up the title. It's yours. You owe nothing." And I mean, that's only God. It's only God, because I know I did right. And I know I asked God to forgive me. And just things have opened up in my life that it's unbelievable how much freedom I have. And I'm happy again. And I'm not miserable. And I know if you're going through that, pride is hard to give up. I know that. But it's so much easier when you do.
Hey, now listen to this next verse.
And if in the future my parents pass on to dwell in that city we long to call home, they may not give me the goods of this world, which isn't good, but I have accepted their God and His word. I have a godly heritage. I'm blessed with things you can't see.